How come every time I'm in the kitchen, Shayz and the mic is in the kitchen, and the goddamn refrigerator eating up all the food, all the chicken, all the chili, all the, what else you eat, Shayz?
Hog maw.
No, what else you eat?
Chips.
All the potato chips, all the Fruity Pebbles. Because every time we at your house, there's a whole bunch of food up on cereal up in that joint. Cocoa Puffs, Captain Crunch. But what's up? It is Lyrics and Lies coming back at you. I'm Money Green, chilling with
Shayz on the mic.
And with the intro, I was messing around with John Witherspoon, one of the best actors and comedians. We've had the blessing
and the pleasure
of being entertained by, and we recently lost him. And I remember earlier this year, he got sick. Maybe it was late last year. He got sick and he passed out on stage or something. And at that point, I felt that we better embrace him or catch him where we can or capture whatever we can of him artistically, because he may not be around much longer. Plus, when people get up in age, then you really have to, really tune into them and appreciate them. And definitely don't take them for granted. And, within a year or less, we end up losing him. But he left us so much stuff, and that's what we're going to talk about. John Witherspoon, how he blessed us for decades of humor, drama too. He left so much content. So go ahead, break it down, Shayz, because I know you're a big fan of him too.
Oh, I was heartbroken actually when I found out that John Witherspoon has passed. When I heard it on the news, I couldn't believe it. I had to look at the news there at the TV, but when they brought it back on to say that he passed, because I was just telling Money Green that I just saw him on the D.L. Hughley show.
Okay.
That was like 4 days prior, probably. And he had interviewed him, and he was talking about his upcoming things that he was going to be doing. They was talking about Friday, doing that Friday again.
The final Friday.
The final Friday that they was in the works, and they was talking about it. You know how, Mr. Witherspoon, he's about making that money. He has to make that money. That's all he, talks about, is making sure. And he was doing his tour dates. He had like 4 tour dates that he was going to be on. So he.
And you never got to see him live?
I never got to see him live. And when he was doing those tour dates, I was thinking about it. To be honest, I said, I need to go see him live. And I still didn't get a chance.
I'm with you.
To see him live. I would have loved to experience him.
I'm with you. I would have loved to see him live. I would love to have met him. A lot of people that we know got to meet him several times when he came to the area, and they have pictures. They post their pictures with him. And it's interesting because he talked about coming out with a line of Hallmark cards, or his version of Hallmark cards. And he said they wouldn't sell. So if he said anybody want him, he'd give you like $100 for $1, something like that, because he said he got 1 million cards in his house. But he hit it big with the t-shirts. So the t-shirts would sell like crazy. So after the shows, he would sell his t-shirts, whether it was bang, 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 or you got to coordinate, whatever the t-shirts were. They were big sellers. But he was a big people's person, and after the shows, he was always engaging with people, giving people hugs, taking pictures, signing autographs. So that's what you and I missed out on.
I know.
But we were blessed with everything else. So speaking of the bang, bang, bang.
The chord.
That goes back to the movie Boomerang. And what's interesting about that is that scene was Martin Lawrence's scene.
Really?
Yes. Martin Lawrence was supposed to go to the door, open it, and he and John Witherspoon were supposed to go back and forth. Here's the thing. John Witherspoon also wasn't supposed to be in Boomerang. The studio didn't want him. They call him Spoon. So Eddie Murphy was like, no, we need to get Spoon in here for David Alan Grier's father, this would be perfect. The perfect contrast. You got this nerdy type clean guy, then you got the real cool father. No one would see that coming. And he would be embarrassing both parents. So Eddie Murphy told the studio, we need Spoon. They said no. Eddie Murphy was like, no, we need to get Spoon. And he got them to fly out there. So John Witherspoon didn't have the role yet. But Eddie was like, get him out here. So, people gonna jump when Ed say something. And that was back when Ed ran Hollywood. So he came out, and before he got to the set, of course, wardrobe gets you. That's some Hollywood talk that I'll share with you later.
Okay.
So wardrobe got to him, and they said, how about this, right? How about this, and how about that? And he said, let me ask you something. Do you have more of this fabric? They said, yes. He said, I have an idea. So it was his idea, John Witherspoon's idea, to do the mushroom inside the coat and do the mushroom belt. That was his idea. So he brought that to the set. All of that was improvised.
Oh, wow.
At the door. He was just supposed to come in and he's supposed to like, hey, how you doing? Oh my goodness, Gerard, your father's here. Hey, nice to see you. I haven't seen you in such a long time. Well, when he hit the door, he came through the door with Martin, and he had all this mushroom stuff. When he started breaking it down, Eddie Murphy was like, oh, hell no. Wait a minute. What's going on here? And Ed was like, Martin, you're going to have to step aside for this scene. I got this one. So Eddie Murphy and John Witherspoon went back and forth with the, Gerard, you know inside your father's coat is the special mushrooms. I know that, Marcus. But that's what came about that scene.
Okay.
Ed was turned out. It was like, man, he came on the set with the mushroom belt and all. You got to coordinate. I'm trying to impress you, right? All that. Ed didn't see that coming. So Ed was like, oh, and Ed's like probably the best improviser in the game. Probably the best improviser in the past 30, 40 years. And you got Martin is great at improvising or improvisation. Jamie Foxx is great, but ain't nobody, and Mike Epps is great. Ain't nobody touching Eddie Murphy with improvisation. Yeah. So that's how that scene came about.
Oh, wow.
And John Witherspoon also said that Bang 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 was something he used to do back in Detroit. Back in his 20s and 30s, he'd always do the bang 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 stuff. So, he talking to his crew. They're like, yeah, you go out on a date with that girl? Say, yeah, did you bang bang bang? He used to do things like that back then. So he did a movie called Talking Dirty After Dark. That's Martin Lawrence's first movie.
Right.
This is the first movie Martin Lawrence starred in. So yes, he did Do the Right Thing with Spike Lee, and he did House Party and all that. But Martin's first movie in the starring role, Talking Dirty After Dark, right, I believe is 1991, right before Boomerang came out. John Witherspoon was the bad guy in that movie. If any of you listening want to watch a funny movie, but it's sort of a don't be a menace don't be a menace in the hood while drinking your juice. Whatever.
Drinking gin and juice.
Yeah. Whatever the Wayans brothers title. I don't know why it skips my mind. It was so long and funny. But just an off-brow, just like a underground comedy. So it's not going to be like the funniest movie in the world,
right?
But it's a bunch of craziness. And you got Martin Lawrence in it as a star. You got John Witherspoon. Then you got Joe Torre got a role in it. Zeus, Tiny Lister.
Oh yeah.
You throw all them people in there, and you got this a wild movie. It's one I call it a weed movie. A weed movie is, if you ever watch this movie while you high, you're gonna have a great time.
It's gonna be funny.
So in that movie, that's the first time I ever heard him do Bang Bang. I think he may have done it in Robert Townsend's Partners in Crime, which is a TV thing on HBO. But he does Bang 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 in Talking Dirty After Dark. So that's something for y'all to check out. Nevertheless,
He didn't do that in Hollywood Shuffle though.
No, he didn't do that. He did the Winky Dinky Dog.
Yeah.
Right, Hollywood Shuffle. John Witherspoon has been in so many movies.
Yeah, so he has been in Hollywood Shuffle, Boomerang, The Five Heartbeats, Vampire in Brooklyn.
Yes, I love that.
The Boondocks. You know him as Granddad.
He daggone right.
Robert Freeman, Granddad. He was in Soul Plane. I think he did Bang Bang and Soul Plane though.
Okay.
And he was in the Wayans Brothers show.
All right, so you said a mouthful, not as much of a mouthful as I just said, but some of those are, most of those are classics, but some of those are, I would say, landmark projects. Things like the Boondocks. That's 3 seasons of John Witherspoon in every episode acting a fool.
Yes, as the granddad.
His voice, he just cut up in the Boondocks. He had to keep the boys in line, and he was sort of not a sellout, but he was a guy who pandered to white people. He saw white people as people not to get on their bad side, and do the right thing and make your money, and don't rock the boat too much. That's how he was in there, and he had a hood side to him. He was just hilarious.
Yeah, he was funny, especially the episode I remember. Well, it's so many episodes I remember because I'm cracking up laughing after all the Boondocks, especially that time when he had the what is that man who came back to fight him? I cannot think of his name. He came back from the dead. Oh
right.
My gosh, I can't think of his name right now. I can see it right now. I can't think of
the N-word old man.
Yeah, he came back.
He's the blind.
Oh gosh.
He's a blind.
Dang. Anyway.
Blind ninja samurai.
Something. He came back.
What's good?
Now that all the Boondocks is funny. I don't know what they're going to do, because this was going to be the last season of the Boondocks, and then too, I don't know how they would end it, or if they even going to do this season since John Witherspoon has passed.
His we get to that later.
Yeah, we'll get into that later. But
Stink Meaner. His name was Stink
Meaner.
Colonel Stink Meaner.
Oh my gosh.
And he and John Witherspoon fighting in that episode is classic.
Yes.
TV. And it may be a cartoon, but this is adult cartoon. For real. This is not your kids' cartoon. You should have your kids watching the Boondocks. You also have the episode with him and Mike Epps when they were World War II pilots, and Mike Epps was his his partner in flight, and one of his partners in flying planes, another black airman, but they used to have a rivalry within the Air Force. That episode is great because remember Mike Epps passed away, his character.
Oh.
And he left.
I forgot about that.
He left something in his will for John Witherspoon's character. When John Witherspoon fell in love with a stripper or a prostitute.
Oh, God.
And he didn't know she was a prostitute. So those are some great things. You mentioned Hollywood Shuffle. That wasn't a big role. But no. You mentioned, so we mentioned Boomerang.
The Friday
series, 5 Heartbeats. That was a little small role.
Vampire in Brooklyn.
Vampire in Brooklyn. That was some brilliant stuff. Yes, that was some brilliant stuff. What else you mentioned?
Also mentioned the Soul Plane.
All right, that was okay. Everything he did was good or great, but that wasn't a real big role. But he was clean in there.
He was clean.
Oh, he had them suits. Yeah, he was a playboy. He did something different.
He was a playboy in that.
What else you got?
And he was in the Wayans Brothers. He was
the Wayne, and that's a landmark.
Pop.
That's a landmark TV show.
They fought for him too, and it seems like every time somebody wants John Witherspoon, they have to fight for him.
Right. Well, it's interesting that Shawn Wayans said that the studio wanted Danny Glover.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Danny Glover?
No.
It would have been a more serious show.
He wouldn't have been as funny. Not saying he doesn't have a funny side, but it wasn't. That role was not for Danny Glover.
All right. So if funny is from 1 to 10 as far as that role goes, and John Witherspoon is a 10, Danny Glover probably could have did a 3 or 4. He couldn't even
give him a lot of credit too.
Right. And I've seen him in comedy roles.
Yeah, I've seen him too.
Or comedic role. this is like night and day though.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be.
He wouldn't have fit into that role. It wouldn't have worked, and it wouldn't have lasted as long as the Wayne brothers.
It could have lasted, but it would have been a very serious role.
Or it would have been a different role. That might not have been. It might have came out to be something different.
It's serious. He wouldn't have dressed like that.
Nah, it wouldn't have been nothing.
He would have been more disciplinarian, and Marlon wouldn't have had somebody to go back and forth with. See, he was so simple on that show, John Witherspoon, that Marlon and them, they couldn't go too far because he was with them.
Right.
So it wasn't like Marlon was going far because John Witherspoon was right there with him doing some dumb stuff. Oh my goodness.
Foolishness.
He was the DJ on What's Happening when Rerun went against Daddy Domino. Called himself Spoon. He said, the Spoon wants to know how everybody's doing. And coming to the stage or whatever. So he was in there. He was the policeman when Penny's mother set up Walona in Good Times, and they had the party over there. He was a policeman that was supposed to come and lock. I forgot who he came to lock up. I can't remember who he was locking up. What he just came to check on Walona and see what's going on, and we about to arrest you. There's a disturbance up here, and then she walked in there with a mean coat. So he was in that. So that's in the 70s, and you got the 80s with Partners in Crime with Robert Townsend and Hollywood Shuffle. Then you have House Party. Late 80s, then you got, what was that, 89, 90, then you got, damn, it would have been nice if he was in Coming to America and Harlem Nights. That would have been real nice. But he was in Boomerang.
Yep.
And
the Vampires in Brooklyn, what was that?
Vampire in Brooklyn. And I think I mentioned the Talking Dirty After Dark.
Yeah.
Hopefully I did. I'm not going back over that. I don't know if that was before the Wayans or what. But Talking Dirty After Dark is a funny movie. I call it a weed movie. If you like smoking weed and having fun and when listening to something wild or getting drunk. Talking Dirty After Dark is Martin's first movie as the main actor. Mm-hmm. So what else we got? So that's
and then that brings us to the 2000s with the Fridays.
You
know, the Soul Plane. And the Boondocks.
The Boondocks, classic
so that brings us all up to date.
And then you mentioned the internet shows.
Yeah, he has his internet shows, and you know he does a couple of his internet shows with his son too.
Yes, he said his son does an excellent impersonation of his father. You put me down with that.
John David Witherspoon.
Yes, whom I'd like to get some skills from voiceover because he sounds just like his father. For you think you listen to John Witherspoon talk when he impersonates him. So you put me down with that. The cooking show. So John Witherspoon came out with a cooking show in the 2010s where he's cooking for poor people is the title. And he's cooking fried chicken and you know he's putting that powder and spices in a big brown paper bag. And he just cooking pork chops, greens, frying fish. He's doing all this stuff. And at the same time, he's running his mouth and just being himself. And it's not supposed to be funny, but since it's him, it's hilarious.
It's funny. Anything he does is funny. Him talking, breathing is funny.
Yes, and he's just right in his element. He's right in his kitchen, talking about everything. Whatever comes to his mind, he's just talking about it. And he left a big influence and a big mark on the industry. And he will be missed. But he left us a great amount of content. So
he did that. And you know, as going to his funeral, I mean, it was a lot of comedians and a lot of people who admired Witherspoon. They loved him, and something that Ice Cube said, it's going to be a real loss for the comedy community because, I mean, he was really funny. I mean, he didn't even have to do much. You know, he was saying that some people are born funny, some people have to work on their craft, and John Witherspoon was that man who was born funny.
Yeah, just be himself. You know? That's all he had to do.
Just being himself, just saying words, just making faces. Anything that he did was basically funny. So I got a chance to look at some of the comedians and some of the people who got up and spoke on John Witherspoon's behalf. And he's just going to be missed. I'm going to be honest, I still, right now, it's been, a couple of weeks since he's passed. I still can't believe that he's not here.
Yeah, because the next Friday that comes out, he was supposed to get with Miss Pearly. He's supposed to bone Miss Pearly. Miss Curly was supposed to
get that from.
Miss Curly was gonna put a Bill Cosby thing in his drink, and she was gonna get him. Your son tell you I said But remember, she grabbed him by the, he said, what are you talking about? She said, I'm talking about this dick, Willie Jones. She grabbed him by his dick and pulled him over the couch. She said, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I heard they call you sweet and cool. Who told you? They told you. Yeah, baby, I was a bad mama. But
even him saying a bad mama. Even him, the way he changes the inflections in his voice is hilarious. That's funny.
Shayz put the inflections on y'all. But yeah, he has so many lines. And I know you said your favorite is the first Friday and mine is the third Friday, but he has so many lines in both. And we always say them lines, in the first one you had every time I'm in the kitchen and you got,
in the kitchen.
Don't nobody go in the bathroom for 35, 45
minutes.
And you got he had a lot of lines in the
remember
first
when the dog bit him
Yeah.
in the butt? When the dog bites you, bite you right in that, so it's some funny points.
Grab a dog all day long, it's my foot up a dog's ass.
Right. That right there was funny. And he in the bathroom talking to Ice Cube and spraying.
And in mine, you got the it tastes so good, you want to slap your mama. My dick is bigger than yours. It was cold that night. All that stuff. He just has line after line. And Marcus, I had some girl got you pussy whipped.
It is the way he say it. It's just the way he says it.
And it's sincere.
Yes.
And real.
It's just so funny.
There's no acting. It makes you think it's him.
Right.
And even when he went to Soul Plane, he flipped the script and got fancy on us, and got the sharp suit, and he was a high roller with the money. He was balling out. It was still realistic. You know what I'm saying? He didn't, it didn't look phony. Everything he did just looked real. And so he's gonna be missed. So
he will be. And Bill Bellamy said when they went out to dinner that he don't like to spend a whole bunch of money because he was like, we ain't getting all this expensive wine. How much is the cheapest wine in here? That's what we're gonna get. So it was so funny when Bill was saying that at the funeral because you could see him saying that. You could actually see him saying that because you already know how John is. So
and he had that property out there in LA. I forgot what county he was in, but he would talk about what county and city he was in. He would talk about his neighbors on the cooking show.
He was in Sherman Oaks.
He was? That's why.
Sherman
you know
Oaks.
what? And I'm glad you said that. I was in Sherman Oaks when we got the news.
That's where he was.
I was in Sherman Oaks, so I wasn't far from him. I wonder how far away from his house I was, because we were up in the hills, overlooking everything.
Because he was born in Detroit, but that's where he left and moved to Sherman Oaks, Los Angeles.
Yes, I just happened to be out there at the same time. So, we're going to miss John Witherspoon, but like I said, he left us so much content, 5 decades of content. My son loves him. I was going to try to get him down here and talk, but he act like a little knucklehead.
He went outside to play with his friends.
That's cool, but yes. So anything else you want to add?
And my son did too. I wanted to give the condolence to the family, to Angela, Alexandria, and John David Witherspoon.
And give condolence to the world.
Yes, because I know if we miss him this much, we already know how much the family is grieving at this moment. So our condolences go out to the family.
I think the only person who didn't enjoy him was my mother.
Really?
He used to turn my mother off because we have a relative like him.
Oh, wow.
And that relative got on her nerves. So I think him reminding her of the relative makes her upset because it makes her think about the relative. So I play into that. I make her more upset with that. I bring up things or I do his voice or imitate him. She just shake her head at me. But
that's the only person.
The only person.
That's only because of it's your relative's fault for that.
And I'm gonna ask her about that.
That's a relative.
I'm gonna ask her. She about all that. He popping his eating his stuff with his mouth. He's sitting there popping his lips.
Now that sound.
That stuff. I think.
That sounds like my mother with Snoop Dogg. She hates Snoop Dogg.
For real?
She does not like Snoop Dogg. Oh my gosh. Everything. I was like, what is it? It's just something about him. I just don't like him. I was like, wow, that's deep.
I'll tell your mother I said. But Yeah, that's messed up. But
Yeah, it's all so it's funny how, you know. But
yeah,
your mother's is a different situation.
Yeah,
It's because of that family member
right.
who did it.
Yeah, so no one's loved by everybody, unfortunately, but he's loved by most. So John Witherspoon will be missed. Rest in comedy paradise. And that's it. So
Love you, J-Dub.
Money Green signing off with
Shayz on the Mizite.
And Lyrics and Lies. Y'all take the time to subscribe to us, because Shay's always trying to kick me in the butt. Like, you ain't tapping to subscribe. Please subscribe, go to the channel and hit that subscribe button. And tune in more. We're going to try to bring y'all more content, and we're going to act a little wilder next time. See, right now I have some handcuffs on me. I'm being a little reserved because, you know, this is sort of a sad, happy moment, but I'm going to act the fool next week.